Hello everyone, this is Diana Eisa, an English language teacher from Sanabel Al Khair School. Today we're having a lesson for grade 9, unit 5, page 58. We have a reading passage which is entitled Festivals, Festivals, Festivals. Our goals for today are to read for gist and detailed information and to develop reading skills. I guess that all of you have heard or went to some festivals around the world, because even in Jordan we have a lot of festivals which are happening every year in Jarash, in Petra, in Amman, in Al-Aqaba. But today our lesson is about two of the most popular festivals around the world. The first one is in China and the second one is in Spain. The first one is the Chinese Dragon Boat Festival and the second one is La Tomatina. So today we're going to discover more about these two festivals and we're going to see what do people do during the days of these festivals. But before we start, we're going to read the text. So please open your box on page 58 and pay attention to my reading. Now I'm going to read the first part of this text, which is about the Chinese festival, and you are going to think about the answers of these two questions. Number one, why do the Chinese people celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival? And two, what did the Chinese patriot do? How did they try to rescue him? Okay, think about these two questions and I will read the passage and please pay attention to my reading. Festivals, festivals, festivals. The Chinese Dragon Boat Festival. For over 2,500 years, the Dragon Boat Festival has been celebrated by the Chinese on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month. This year, that day is 6th June. The festival is a huge celebration for China, drawing millions of locals and tourists alike. If you are in China, this celebration is not to be missed. The Dragon Boat Festival commemorates a popular Chinese patriot who, in the 3rd century, in a protest against the government, threw himself into the Milo River. When the local people found out what he had done, they ran to the river to rescue him, but they were too late. So they threw rice paddies into the water to stop the fish from eating him up. Today, rice dumplings or zangzi are eaten to symbolize the rice offerings on behalf of this brave patriot. Another tradition believes that wearing a scented pouch around your neck protects you from evil. So, on this day, children decorate their clothes with fragrant pouches. The small pouches are made of a silk cloth stretched with a 5-color silk thread. The 5-color silk thread is also tied to a child's wrists, ankles, and around their neck. 5-color thread is thought to contain magical and healing properties that will protect the child from injury or illness. However, the most exciting custom of this festival is the dragon boat races. The boats are painted with bright colors and are decorated with a dragon head and tail. The boats can be everywhere from 12 to 30 meters long and can contain up to 8 rowers. A drummer stands at the front of the boat to keep time while the flag catcher stretches to the front to try to grab the hanging flag at the finish line, winning the race. Before the boats enter the water, an official paints red eyes onto the faces, bringing the dragons to life. Answer these two questions. I will give you 2 minutes to stop this video and think about the answers of these 2 questions. Do it now, please. Okay, so question number 1. Why do the Chinese people celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival? What is the reason of this festival? Where did they bring their idea from? They brought their idea and they wanted to commemorate a popular Chinese patriot. What did he do? He protested against the government. Okay? So they wanted to remember this brave person again and to recall him again. Question number 2. What did the Chinese patriot do and how did they try to rescue him? What did he do? He, after protesting against the government, he threw himself from the Milo River and died. So how did they try to rescue him? They found that he had done and they could not rescue him, but they tried to throw some rice patties to the fishes so they don't eat his body. Okay, so in order to protect his body after his death. Now, let's read the second part of this text, which is about La Tomatina. And here we have also 2 questions. You're going to answer these questions after I finish reading. So number 1, what do people do in this festival? What is it about? Number 2, what did Francisco Franco do? Who is Francisco Franco? We're going to discover after reading the text. So please pay attention to my reading. La Tomatina. Spain's La Tomatina is one of the most interesting festivals the world has to offer. Not only does it feature greased poles, it also finishes off with a city-wide tomato fight. La Tomatina is celebrated on the last Wednesday in August in a small town in eastern Spain. The festival began way back in 1944, but there is no religious or political basis for it. Some people guess it began as a food fight among children, or that local townspeople chucked tomatoes at each other. Whatever the cases, the event caught on and has happened every year until the Spanish dictator Francisco Franco banned the festival for having no religious significance. However, the event was resumed after the death of Franco in the 70s. A week-long festival leads up to the big tomato fight, which includes parades, fireworks, and even a paella cooking contest. On the big day, shopkeepers board up their store fronts to protect them from the impending mess. At 11 o'clock a.m., sharp participants struggle to climb to the top of a pole. Then it's every man for himself, as about 108,900 kilograms of tomatoes are pelted at everything that moves. Did you know? La Tomatina participants must wear goggles to protect their eyes from the acid in the tomatoes. La Tomatina safety regulations require that tomatoes are squashed before being thrown so they don't hurt when they impact. A cannon is fired to signal the beginning and the end of the tomato festival. Firefighters use water cannons to clean the streets after the festival. Okay, so I guess that you have a good idea now what is this festival about. It is all about tomato, right? What do people do in this festival? Yes, it is about tomato. And what do people do in this festival? They used to chuck tomatoes at each other. Chuck tomatoes at each other. Okay, and number 2, what did Franco do? What did he do? He was a bad person. He was a dictator, a tyrant leader, okay? What did he do? He banned the festival for having no religious significance. He banned the festival. It means that he did not let people to do this festival anymore. But after he died, people started to do it again. You have to look at did you know part, the second part of this. Did you know? Because here are some important information that perhaps came to your mind before reading the text. That the participants must wear goggles in order to protect their eyes, and they can't just pick any tomato and throw it to other people. It should be squashed. It should be squashed so they don't hurt each other. And this is the end of our lesson for today, which was about festivals. I hope that you have enjoyed today's lesson and see you in the next lesson, inshallah. Goodbye.